Hello, Karense.
Hello, hello.
So, the idea of this video is to talk about the different sound. So, K, KG, SG, and SKG, and maybe more
Mm,
at the end. Uh,
mm,
but because those sounds are a bit difficult for French speaker, I need some help to
mm.
explain. So, thank you for helping us to understand.
No problem.
So it's really difficult even to hear the difference between those
Mm,
sounds for us, and to say it correctly is even more challenging because to
mm-hmm,
create those sounds, we have to use the form of the mouth and the place of the tongue. So it's
mm,
not something that we have in the French language.
mm-hmm.
So can you give us some examples and what are the common mistakes?
Well, to make you feel better, I can tell you that a lot of Norwegian young teenagers or even young people now, they make the same mistakes because it has kind of almost now proven to be phenomena, you can say, or something that has changed in the language of younger people. And also the children nowadays, they can't differentiate between these sounds, so they make everything
Okay.
the sound, the skj or the sj sound. That's what happens.
Okay. So it's not just
For
for the French people.
No, 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 no. So for us older people, if I dare to say older, it sounds not so nice and a bit
Okay.
disturbing. Probably if someone speaks French and they make certain sounds or say it the wrong way, then it's like, okay, I understand what you mean, but it's a bit, oh, it's not so nice to listen to.
It's a bit wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wrong, but it's not always so wrong that it's not like I don't understand what you mean. If you say that you're going to Shino, I understand. And also those teenagers, for example, they say that jeg skal gå på kino. So I understand what they mean, of course, but I don't want to accept it because that's not how you say it. And
Yeah.
then when the Norwegian, if I call them teenagers, when the Norwegian teenagers are making these mistakes all the time, then it's like, how can we help them? How can we do something about it? Or is it actually the other way around, that we have to accept the fact that the language is changing?
Okay. So what do you think about that?
I don't agree. Simply because I belong to the generation that can differentiate between the sh and the sh sound.
Okay.
But I don't know in the future, maybe 50 years ahead, maybe it will just all be one sound. Up until then, I want to keep, going with the different ones, because I think it sounds a bit rough to say that skj or sj sound for everything. And it sounds like you really, really don't speak Norwegian properly if you are a Norwegian using that
Okay.
sound for everything. Yeah. As for people who are not Norwegian, let's say French speakers, um, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's worse when Norwegian people can't differentiate. But yeah, it's something that is happening and changing, maybe just as also the L and the ball, ball. This is also a thing with the youngsters.
Yes.
Yeah. So is it a big mistake? It can be a big mistake. It depends on the words that you say.
Okay.
And we have that classical example. I've even experienced it myself with children. I was teaching in a school here in Oslo many years ago, and there was a boy who came late for school. And then I say, "Why were you late?" And then he said, "Skjeden hoppa av." Skjede as in the chain of the bike, right?
Of the bike. Yes.
Yeah. And then I had to correct him and say, men kjeden, you have to smile to say this sound. Kjeden, kjeden. And then he couldn't differentiate. He said, yeah, kjeden. And then I said, actually, if you say skjede like this, skjede, if you say that, it actually means the vagina. and I don't think you meant to say that. And then he was so embarrassed. And he's like, how can I say it right? How can you teach me how to say it right? Because I only know how to say shh. So please help
Yeah.
me. So then we had to do a bit of practicing. And these were Norwegian students, but I had to practice these sounds with them in their own mother tongue. So it was a bit
Okay.
ironic. Yeah.
So how did you explain to him how to say the word correctly?
So I guess just for them, just as for you guys, it's you can say the sh sound, can't you? You can say sh or
Yeah. Sure.
she,
Yeah.
So you can do
She.
this just like how you say sh to children, like sh, sh, she, sh. You can say that. That's not the problem, right? The problem is
Yes.
the other one, the KJ one, the KY,
Yes.
the KI, right? You
Yeah.
have to smile. So you have to. That's the first thing. When you look in the mirror, your mouth has to be shaped as a smile. Okay.
Okay.
So if you say shino, like cinema, shino, and your mouth is like this, this is wrong. That can't possibly be the right sound. So you have to make a smile.
Chino. Yeah.
Yeah, shino.
Yeah.
So if you exaggerate a bit in the beginning, it makes it more easy to get used to it. And then it's the KY, you have the chicken, right? Kylling. So
Yes.
then you're not smiling like you can't say kylling. So you have to make the Y, which is also difficult for French speakers, I think,
Yes.
because you have the E is difficult to
E.
also,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have a double a challenge there.
A double
Then
challenge here.
it's, yeah. So then it's kind of like uh, sh- you can still picture a bit of a smile, shilling, but it's not like kirke, church, but it's shilling,
Yeah.
shilling. It's poulet in French, isn't it? Poulet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. So it's shilling. So you still see that It's not really a smile, but my mouth is not like this. Shilling, shilling is wrong. Shilling. So you should see more of your teeth. If you can think of
Okay.
it that way, with the
Yes.
sound, you should see more of your teeth. So if you're using a mirror to look at your mouth, you would see it straight right away that, oh, my teeth are not showing. Shh, more, it's showing very little. It must be wrong.
Okay. Because this word can also have like another meaning if it's
Especially
not
that one,
said
skj.
correctly.
So if
Yeah.
you say skj, that's the vagina. And if you say it right, kjede, you're smiling. Kjede, that means a chain or like a necklace. Kjede. Jeg vil
Yes.
kjøpe et kjede. But you should not go to the store to say jeg vil kjøpe et kjede. Because then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not for sale.
It's not for
Oh,
sale.
well,
Not
not in
here.
the shop at least.
Yes.
So it's, I think that's the example which is the worst.
Okay.
And you might not be speaking about chains or necklaces every day, but you never know. All of a sudden, you're there talking about the chain of your bicycle, or it's not a big mistake if the word can't be misunderstood. Like you say, shino, like cinema, shino. So I understand what you mean, right? So it's just annoying.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you say kjøtt, jeg skal lage kjøtt, it's not wrong. There's no other word that could be this word, but it just sounds, if I dare to say, ugly.
Weird. Yeah. Okay.
Ugly, yeah. Bad language, yeah. Especially when
Yes.
Norwegian people can't do it. I think we're a bit more accepting when it comes to foreigners, because we know that of course there's going to be issues with the pronunciation, so we can accept that you make those mistakes more.
Yes.
But when Norwegian people can't speak their own language, then it becomes frustrating
Yes.
to those of us who can say it correctly.
Yes. Because it's something that is taught in the schools anyway to Norwegian people. So
I
they
mean, I remember that we used to do these exercises with sjø, shilling, no. Yeah, I remember that because we didn't learn how to say it. We learned how to write it. right? So there would be a difference between skj and kj. It's
And
a different
KJ,
way.
yes.
Yeah, but it was more about how to write it correctly, not about how to say it, because we all said it correctly. Nobody said
Okay.
skin or kylling like that when I grew up. But then,
Okay, because it's a trend that we
well,
say some we
language
saw
is
lately,
always
but
changing. Language is always changing. So I don't think the language we have today will be the same language in 50 years. Um, Actually, I have my dad's cousin. He moved to Chicago when he was around 20. He became a doctor there, and he's lived there for all the rest of his life, and is still there.
okay.
He's now 85 or something like this. And when he comes to Norway, of course, he is a Norwegian. He's a native speaker, but his Norwegian language is how it was 65 years ago here. So when
Okay.
he comes back to Norway, he speaks very formal. He's like,
Okay.
ja, skal vi gå og spise middag på restauranten i dag? That's how they spoke at that time.
At
But he
that time,
sounds,
okay.
it sounds so strange, but he's,
Like really
back
serious and really formal.
that, yeah, that's his language because it has been kept that way because if he stayed in the US. So
Yeah.
his language has not developed, but the Norwegian language has developed. So I
Yes.
can clearly see speak to him.
Okay.
Um, it's
What
funny. So
else
I
have changed in the Norwegian language, would you say, lately?
I think, of course, we have a mix of like we have many words from different languages because we are being more multicultural. We're blending more with other cultures and other yeah different types of people coming here. There is more English, I think. We use that more and more. Um, and then, of course, it's the tone, it's the way to speak. It's maybe also that we're less formal. The differences between old and young is not very clear in terms of how we speak to one another.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I remember when I was little, we had this the them, so I would to an older lady, I would say, Skal jeg hjelpe dem? I should not say deg, right? That would be impolite. Skal jeg hjelpe deg? Vil de ha kaffe? Vil de ha litt kaffe? So I should not say, will du ha kaffe? But that would be rude. And
Okay.
even you wrote it with a capital D. Vil de ha kaffe? D-E,
Okay.
right? Yeah. But we don't do that anymore at all.
Okay.
So I guess also just as French is changing, Norwegian is changing, every language is changing by,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's normal. So we have this what we call kebab norsk,
Yes.
uh, which has been, it has just, yeah, it was just something that happened. I guess when the kebab came to Norway, I don't know when that was, if that was the 90s, and it has just developed. But it's funny because then you have a lot of words from other languages.
Yes.
I have a friend, and she's from Trøndelag, and her husband is Kenyan, and they have two kids. And the daughter, she's used to the Trønder dialect with her mom, but her mom is Norwegian, right? And this girl, she's growing up in the east side of Oslo. So
Okay.
she's telling her mom very often, oh, Mamma, du er så gåra. And apparently, Gora, it means a farmer in Hindi, I think, in India,
Okay.
or somebody from the countryside or something like this. So she's
Okay.
telling her mom all the time, oh, mamma, du gjør sånn Gora-aktiviteter. Du går og plukker sopp, og du er sånn Gora. So her mom has to learn these terms, right?
The-
Because she doesn't
like the
understand what her
words
daughter is
and
saying.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like that. Sociolect,
Okay.
that's what they call it.
Yes.
Sociolekter. Mm.
And for us as a Norwegian learner, we have to learn all those new words and not all of them, but the slang, as we said,
Yeah.
because it's really used. And there is a big difference between what we can learn in books or in schools and what
Yeah.
is Norwegian in the everyday life.
Yeah. I think sometimes I'm a fan of learning in a bit untraditional way. Like, because I know a lot of learners, they want to stick to the book, they want to stick to the grammar tables, they want to, do everything correctly. And then when you come out there and you speak to people, then you become very confused because, hey, but in the book I learned you have to answer this if you get this question and you have to do it like this. But,
Yes. It's
when
not
people
working
start
like
speaking,
this.
it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yes.
So I think sometimes the challenge is to actually try to detach yourself from the book a bit and just speak. Know
Yes.
that you're going to make mistakes and accept it. I think that's the
Absolutely.
hardest part. That is the
Yes.
hardest part as adult learners.
Yes.
Yeah, because we don't want to feel stupid or as babies or children. We are adults after all. We are educated. We have years of experience.
Yes.
But ultimately, when you learn a language, you become like a different level in terms of what comes out of your mouth and who you really are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a last word, what would you say to Norwegian learners so they can stay motivated?
I would say don't be afraid of making mistakes. We are very happy when you try to speak as opposed to being silent. And just try to let yourself go a bit. Accept the fact that you will make mistakes, but in that you will learn. If you don't make mistakes, you won't learn. It's like that. So you just have to put yourself out there. It's not dangerous. Nobody's going to bite you.
No.
So yeah. So I would say just try to speak. Try
Just
to do
speak.
it. Yeah, just speak. That's it.
Just speak. Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
So easy.
Yeah, so easy but so
So
difficult at the
easy.
same time.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Ja. Så ja, bare snakk. Snakk norsk. Parle norvégien. Oui, c'est ça.
Yes. C'est ça. Parfait.
Ja. Oui.
Thank you, Karense, for your time. It was a
You're
pleasure to
welcome.
speak
Yeah.
with you, to see you, and maybe we
Yeah.
will do another video like that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Yes.
Come with some new needs, then I'm sure we can find something.
Yes, I'm sure too.
Mhm.
Thank you for your
Okay.
time. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome. Au revoir.
Au revoir.